Well, that's what I want to know, because I got to go next year and I got the minutes.
Hi, and welcome to NexGen's video presentation series. This is our general disclaimer. Anything you see here is not endorsed by anyone, including the participants. Anything you may see is make-believe and fictional, and we will deny. Our presentations are meant for fun, and there's some enlightenment that may come along with it. We hope that by viewing this, you will be somehow enticed to further investigate the shrine and masonry in general. Should you like to give a presentation for NexGen, or if you have questions in general, send an email to murawnexgen@gmail.com.
It's just kind of like shit hit the fan.
Essentially, the idea behind having NexGen presentations and stated meetings are boring and pointless, quite frankly, outside of some business meetings and that we all could go to the Oasis. Since I'm bored of doing that, and NexGen can do things that are different, new, and whatever we want, basically. I've asked Plano to speak this evening. I've asked Prof to speak next month. The two vice presidents will be speaking in October, and then that leaves November and December to fill out. So we'll be doing something. The idea I stole from is something called Peka Kucha, and it literally means chit-chat in Japanese. The idea was that people were going to lots of long, boring presentations. These presentations, from their idea, were 6 minutes and 40 seconds long. They literally came up and pulled you off stage at 6 minutes and 42 seconds. I told Plano he could have between 5 and 10 minutes playing on it.
Can I pull him off if he goes over?
And then he keeps giving me looks that say it's going to be longer, so we'll see how that works out.
Can we drag him off then?
Depends on how many editorials we have out of
Editing inserted due to use of language we're not allowed to post on the audience.
Stop watching my phone.
So, depending on audience participation, we'll see how long this is. But the idea is that the unit needs something special so that we can live up to our mission statement of having something, for NexGen doing something new to further fellowship and cater to the interests of nobles under the age of 46. So, without any further talking by me, past President Chris Plano.
Chris, I get to announce this in 9 minutes.
This is the first time I've actually done this lecture, so
Started now.
here's what I promise. We will not talk about the York Rite, we will not talk about the Scottish Rite, we will not talk about anything Masonic whatsoever, with one or two exceptions in the examples. Today we're going to talk about our ever-changing world. As newscasters become female, as we hear terms like metrosexual, and the loss of masculinity on today's planet, I am reminded, and you know it would go without saying, that I would at least make a casual reference to the ancient world, since that's what my degree's in, that in ancient Rome, men could practice, up until the age of 18, their child's retroactive abortion, which is a law that I think I could be persuaded should be brought back, because the Roman father was the patrius familius, the head of the family, which means I brought you into this world, son. I can take you out and start over. In ancient Greece, the laws of divorce were quite simple. A man walks in, catches his wife with another woman. 1, he can kill that man with impunity. 2, toss her out on the street, and that's a divorce.
We heard man walks in, catches his wife with another woman.
Man,
Why would you kill her?
that would be a bonus.
I saw hands going up.
If a woman, on the other hand, wants a divorce from her husband, she must go to an altar of Zeus in the center of the village or town, place her hand on the altar of Zeus and say, I want a divorce. The man's job obviously would be
Kill her.
no,
Keep her away from the altar.
Stop her from going to the altar of Zeus. So the woman's task would be to get all of her brothers, all of her cousins, all of her male relatives. They would form a rugby team and assault the temple of Zeus. And the husband's job would be yes, that's exactly right. What we are talking about here is a review of something that I think has been lost, especially in today's NexGen group, the maxims of manhood. That is, man laws that we seem to have forgotten over these years.
He says the guy who sticks fruit in his fucking beard.
Which I will talk about. This lecture is designed for if you fall into one of 7 buckets. 1, if you are a man. 2, if you will be a man. 3, you were once a man. 4, you are related to a man. You have dated or married a man. You think perhaps one day you will marry or date a man. Or finally, you know or think at some point you might casually or formally know a man. We'll start first with the general behavior. 1, you tip well. This goes without saying. A couple of examples. Your barber. You are always generous to a person who has a knife at your throat. Church, at least 15%. God did a lot to bring you into this world. He does a lot to keep you in this world. 15% is the least you can do. Babysitter, tip well. Why? She holds the life and safety of your children in her arms. Bartender. This is a casual rule. You tip heavily, this is a strict rule. You tip heavily up front. Why? So you're noticed. And remember, think of it like bookends. You don't tip anything in the middle. You tip it once in the beginning and once again at the end. Hooker. 15%. If 15% is good enough for a plate of spaghetti from a waitress, 15% is the minimum for stuffing your penis. All right? Number 2, men recognize only primary colors. This is important. With our retina, we see what? Red, blue, and
Yellow.
green. If we squint, we might be able to make out orange, green, or purple. It goes without saying we always recognize black and white, otherwise we would not recognize the referees on the football field. For example, if you're at a store and you see a man pointing, saying, "Oh, sweetie, look at that mauve pillow sham," there are 3 problems with this statement. 1, he's pointing at a pillow. 2,
What's a pillow sham?
men have no knowledge of shams. And 3, of course, we do not know what mauve is. Rule number 3, you will never use the word blossom. Sugar plum, our little boy is blossoming. This will kneecap all virility that you once had in your life. And then you're going to say, you smartasses in my audience, what if we're talking about flowers? Men don't talk about flowers. Other words that are not acceptable in the male vocabulary. Okie dokie, delightful, peachy, pizzazz, treat, handsome. There is no excuse, under no circumstance, should you ever use the word handsome. Number 4, this goes without saying, there will always be an empty urinal between you and the man beside you. If nothing else, remember Lusak's law for you chemist majors. Gases expand when heated. All right. Number 5, you will always outperform the GPS. If you do not outperform the GPS, 1, you forget all local knowledge, and pretty soon you are simply a monkey pushing buttons. Number 6, celebrate your birthdays like Tuesdays. No cakes. No memory, no friends. You do not remember your friends, buddies. We are not insulted. Now you will say, what about your girlfriend? Wife? Trust me, you will remember those dates like a diabetic remembers to check their sugar. All right? Number 7. These are pretty rapid. 1, never switch your favorite team. That goes without saying. Number 8, always know who's pitching or who's throwing the ball on a football field. Number 9.
Pitching on a football field?
Pitching, or throwing on a football.
Editing inserted here to protect the innocent.